right, hello everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the Long Live People You Can Learn Anything um, uh, series. All right, my name is Saif Sakalala, and this episode today is about coding, and basically, the Long Live People series. So there are kind of two main aspects of the Long Live People project, right? The two main purposes of it. I've mentioned this in previous videos. We live in a world where we have so much technology today, right? As of 2023, and we're in our September 2023. We have all of a sudden there's been a revolution with generative AI, ChatGPT, right? So like before we had Google, where you could go look up something on Google. Now with ChatGPT or Google Bard and all those other tools, it can actually, if you tell it to write you a poem, it can do it. And in a previous episode, I demonstrated that. Okay, but the other aspect that I want to really just help folks understand is this is a world where we're empowered and we don't realize it. And so the millennial generation, my generation, I'm in my late 30s, and you know the Gen Zs, I don't know if they've started working yet. Okay, this from like many of your niece, they're in their early teens, right? But those of us in the millennial generation, the job market has not been the best for us, right? Things have not been as smooth as I would have hoped. Okay, and yet there's jobs out there that like are in high demand. Software engineering is one of those, as well as project management, and those are two fields that I'm going to be discussing in this series. All right, so let's just dive right in. The episode again today. This is episode number 4. Hello World. I titled it "Hello World." Troglodyte. Excuse me, is a cave dweller. Back in the day, we used to live in before the days of houses and stuff. Okay, so Troglodyte's Guide to Software Development. I really should have changed that to just a clueless person or something like that. Something, a simpler word, but all right, well, now that we have it. All right. And as always, before we get started, I just want to do some dedications, some shout outs. First, to Code for America and Code for America is the larger organization. The Code for Philly is the one that I'm with because I live in Philadelphia. Particularly the Flask project, and we actually just got out of a session. So every Tuesday is Hack Night. We have our Hack Night meetings every Tuesday, and I want to, in addition to these two projects, one piece of advice I have for like folks that want to get into software engineering. Is to as you're learning, right? One thing you'll have to do is you'll have to build your portfolio. And so let me just kind of show you, for instance, when you go to GitHub is one, you're going to want to have a GitHub, first of all, right? And so when you go, let's say to mine here, you'll see a bunch of projects that I've been doing, a bunch of repositories and stuff that I'm working on. This right here is the Flask, is my, and there's issues there, but basically there's like, this is my, fork, which I just had to deal with an issue. I'm dealing with a problem where this should be a clone, not a fork. But more on that later, or whatever. But these are so this is the different projects that I have, and so you're gonna wanna build a portfolio for you to be able to like be hired for folks to for employers to want to hire you, and so volunteering is a very good way to do that. And finally, my buddy Tony Kencheze of Magic 100, tune in. Those of you all in Kampala, Uganda, and for everybody else, you can Google it. Tony Kent has his morning show, the Wake Up with Kent show, and he makes things really live and cool, and just tune in and enjoy him. All right, so getting right to the topics of the topic of the day, just to delve right in. So overview. So the first thing when we talk about software development or coding, there are two main kind of aspects. Well, like there's two main aspects to it, but there's other things as well. So one way to think about it, and this is the diagram you have here. I'm gonna next page. I'm gonna like delve into it a little more. Okay, but you have full front end, back end. Okay, and then you have other things like DevOps and data engineering, etc. And then another aspect that you do not want to ignore is the aspect of like kind of the theoretical important aspects, right? The for instance, algorithms and data structures are very, very important. Okay. And then there's other concepts that you really want to always observe as you're, in terms of being a good developer, right? Best practices. Okay. So, but let's just move right on. So, algorithms and data structures. This is an intro episode, and as I've said before, folks, give me some feedback. If you enjoy these videos, I can do more to break this stuff down. And obviously, there's plenty of videos on YouTube where you can learn about this stuff. And this right here is just for you to help you kind of get an overview feel of what coding or data, or rather software engineering, and a little bit of data science, what it's about. Okay, so let's just move right along to the next slide then. And basically, this is the same picture that I have in the previous diagram, and we have bunch of different stuff here, like kind of so the front end and back end, I already discussed that. Front end is what when you go to Google, when you go to Facebook, fill in the blank online, right? Or even apps, like so on your phone. Let's see. Well, I'm looking at my phone right here. What apps do I have? I have like my bank, for instance. I have my like my bank and my some bunch of games. The front end, the way you hear it, that's what you see. In fact, just why talk about it when I can just demonstrate it? This right here technically is a front end. All right, go to Google, front page of it, voila, right here. That's a front end. All right, and then go to Google News, for instance. All of this is front end material. And with front end, you have three basic elements to it. That's HTML, is the language of the web, okay? CSS is what helps things render the way they're supposed to in an organized way. So like if you didn't have CSS, and I can show you examples of this in more videos in the future. Again, give me some feedback so I can, like, if you enjoy these, I can demonstrate the details. But if you didn't have CSS, this would all be mushed together, so CSS is what helps kind of keeps the page organized and stuff. All right, and finally, JavaScript is the language that helps. Like the language of the so when you talk about software engineering or coding, which is computer programming, right? You have what's called languages. Okay, so JavaScript for the web is what we use, is what's used. There's other languages, for instance, like Python. Python is a language where, and I could again try to pull up some of this stuff to show you practically, but Python is very good with backend operations, as well as I use it for data science. For data science, it's really, really powerful because it's so it's very user friendly. It's not the term the tip was the term is on the tip of my tongue. But unlike other languages, like for instance C, right? Python is just kind of it's just easy to use, and yet and can run up calculations very fast, like on a large scale. Okay, so I was opening up GitHub to show you, but you know what? For now, again, this is an overview video. I'm not gonna like delve into the details too much because I just don't wanna. I don't wanna. I want to keep it brief, and I don't want to lose your attention. All right. So that's the front end, and then frameworks. These are, for instance, like you have the languages themselves, and then you have libraries. You have other tools. You have like libraries, and I'm calling them tools. Really, stuff that helps you have smooth operations as you're coding, as you're building these apps, as you're building these websites. All right, backend. These are some of the languages I was talking about just now. So PHP, Node, like languages, or let's just go with the word tools. Just not to like to go too deep into the details. But PHP is a language. Ruby on Rails is a language. Node is a component. I believe it's let me call it a tool that works with JavaScript. ASP.NET. These are some of again some of the different aspects of the backend, and then databases. So when you go to Google, you have Gmail, right? Go to let's see, you have your Gmail account, which I can, let's say, open up my Gmail. I'm not gonna, just for privacy purposes, let me not do that, right? But Gmail, you store things on the cloud, right? Google Drive. is another good example of that right there. So like this is when I go to Google Drive. This I could just pull up real quick. All right, you have a bunch of, you keep things in the cloud. All right, and databases are basically when you keep things on, when you put things in the cloud, quote unquote. Right, they have to be stored somewhere, and data is stored in databases. Databases, there's different types of like storage we're talking about here. So you can have, for instance, logging into Google for Gmail, for whatever, all the sites that you log into, you have your username and your password. Okay, those have to be stored somewhere in the database. Okay, and there's issues of security there. And so, and even like I was just saying, even you have really clouds are there's an aspect of, think of storage. So this is stuff that has to be stored, data that has to be stored in, think of them as containers, all right, virtual containers. Really, at the end of the day, they're on chips, right? There's hardware that contains, basically you have there's chips, those computer chips that or and then servers, again, bigger like just bigger versions of the same thing that store all this data, all this stuff. But databases, that's just all it is. DevOps, and DevOps is what helps large companies, well, the bigger operations, in terms of, because as a, if you're building a small website for a client, let's say a client, somebody wants, hires you to build a website for a baking business, right? For a baking business, or let's say just a simple website. You don't really need this, but for big companies like Google, for instance, and I keep going back to Google because yeah, it's just a good example to use. Companies like Google, Facebook, these are people that they have both software development operations as well as IT operations, right? IT, information technology. So it's like basically they have employees that need to have machines that are running smoothly. They need software updates to their computers. There's a bunch of aspects of that. And so DevOps is the term used to describe the process that helps kind of smoothen operations between software development and IT operations. I pulled up a page here before as I was prepping for this video, and kind of this is again a bunch of resources online, but some of the aspects of it of DevOps, you have continuous integration, so meaning as you and your fellow engineers are building. For instance, my friends and I, with this right here is the repo for Flask, the Flask that I was just telling you about, the Flask app. And I showed you the website before, flask.me. Maybe I could go there. In fact, yeah, sure, why not? Flask.me. I've already been there, so pull it up in the browser. And so, as my friends and I, volunteer software engineers, as we're building, as we're adding, uh, you know, just functionalities to this, meaning like, so for instance, what Flask is about is you go out there with your water bottle, you need water, you want to drink water, gotta use a bathroom, you can get, you can look up places where that have food banks, for instance. If some of us face food shortages, excuse me, unfortunately, or you want to go forage for fruit. There's parks out there that have trees that have berries on them, or strawberries, or fill in the blank. They're public places. Everyone is welcome to go, help themselves. And so when we're adding, we're working on, like, because we get crowdsourced locations. People help us point out places that where all these things I just mentioned are. So these right here. So for instance, if I do this, let me just click on the icon, the main icon, and when I click on this icon right here, it shows us where the water, where different locations that you can go get water. So for instance, based on my location, I believe it's showing me. In fact, let me look real close. Normally on your phone, it's gonna ask you for permission in terms of, give it permission for you to, for it to like show you the close by areas. But this looks about right in terms of where I am, and it's showing me when I click on the water icon. I'm trying to do that right here. Or I can like pull up another way of doing it here. There you go. So water tap, right? Oh, so this is for adding resources. but it's already, oh, there you go. So let's just zero in on some of the water, right, on the icons. So these are icons right here. This is showing you where you can go get some water. This is a park right here. I believe this is a rec center, and it's showing you that you can go get water there. Anyway, the point I was making is, not to digress, as we develop all those different software functions and aspects, we got to be able to smoothly integrate them. And DevOps involves, there's it's also related to what's called source control. And so GitHub and Git, GIT, those are tools. Those are, yeah, let's just go with it. Again, I'm going to be using the word tools a lot because it's just to simplify things. Let's not get into the technicalities too much. But Git is source control of, ways of pushing updates when you're developing. And so CI, continuous integration helps with that. You put into place like kind of automated ways of testing the code. There's issues of security involved there. Continuous delivery. So this one refers to after, like, I believe this is the one where let's see. Integration is like more source control. Continuous delivery is the one that where the code is tested, and then deployment after it's been the code works as the way it should. Then there's an automated process of like just kind of updating the software. In fact, this browser right here, Chrome, for instance, Chrome usually a lot of the time it tells me there's an app like there's an icon somewhere here where it tells me to to update it, and so I have to close Chrome entirely. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna minimize it, but I gotta close Chrome, and then when it reopens up, it's been updated, right? So that's DevOps. Mobile apps, you guys know what those are. You have like on my phone right here. You guys have game apps. You have you know what? Let me go to I'm looking at my phone here. I have like I'm a nerd. I love my learning. Duolingo is one of those apps. When I go to, okay, I do have some games. I don't want your folks to think that I'm like just so when I go to the gaming thing, what do I have? I see Twitch right here. Yeah, you gotta have to believe because I do have. But you all have apps on your phones. Just like WhatsApp is an app, really. WhatsApp, get it right? And so these are all the different tools again that help us build them. Android. So you guys know, those of you with your Galaxies and iOS, that's me. These are the different languages and just languages and again, let's use the word tools, frameworks, libraries, etc. that we use for mobile apps. Okay, now moving right along. Now you've learned just the ground overview of what coding is about, software development. So the question then is for you. You might wonder, oh my God, okay, this is all cool. Like, sounds all good and all. But what should I like? What should I do? Like what exactly? And by the way, I made a promise through my buddy Kent. I don't know if he has announced it yet, but let me just kind of highlight this. There's the reason I'm highlighting it. Kent, if you're working with me here, come on now, help your listeners. For folks watching in Uganda, there's a chance to get 100,000 UGX, 100,000 Ugandan shillings, and we're gonna keep increasing that every month. Next month, hey, who knows? It might be 200,000. This code, there's a reason I have this right here. Anyway, so you've seen what coding is about, software development, and so now you're wondering, well, how do I then? What exactly do I work? Should I work in front end, back end? What exactly as an engineer? Should I be an engineer? Should I be maybe? There's other aspects to software development like UX, UI, user interface, user interface design, and testing. So, well, the couple of things. Number one, you're in the right place to get started. So just learn the basics. Like we're doing right here. Okay, I'm just gonna take off this highlight. Learn the basics, which is what you're doing at the moment. Okay, and then just try them out. So for instance, this right here is my brain freeze right now. But this is oh my God, I'm my brain is freezing. This is what I use to write code, basically. It's not GitHub. What is it? So let's see here. VS Code. VS Code, a code editor. Code editor is what I have. It's the end of the day. Don't judge me. I'm tired. This is a code editor. And when we talk about, I can show you like in terms of what we're discussing just now, front end, back end, etc., etc. What you're looking at here, let me just close this real quick. What you're looking at, this right here, our app is the Flask app has elements of, just a lot of elements of back end, and really this what you're looking at right here, right? Source, public, and so like right now, the ticket that I'm working on, but this is more of a front end item, but just you'll get a different feel of assets, for instance. Look at a public, not industry. Let's see what else here. Cypress. So yeah, integration. There you go. So there's different. You'll understand once you just learn the basics and you try them out. You do the tutorials using the videos that you'll get on YouTube. You'll then learn. You know what? This is what I like. I personally, for instance, prefer the back end. I don't like front end because CSS, I just find it so hard to deal with. This might look easy to you. This looks nice and all just when it's done, right? But my God, trying to like create a clone of this page, like making these colors look the way they do, and the logo be in the place where it is, and these are the sub logos. It is not fun. So for me, I prefer the back end, and also I'm also into what's called data science, and data engineering, because I just I love running. In fact, my repos when you go to like my GitHub, let's just go there real quick again, just to demonstrate. I just love data science and data engineering is really mostly there can be aspects of it of front end, but the point is just so there you go. So data science learning, and I have a bunch of other the point is that like you'll then know, all right, you know what, I love design. I really enjoy the design aspect, or or maybe like me, like what? No, I just prefer to work with the databases. Let's go back to our diagram here. Yeah, I prefer to work with the databases and DevOps. I just enjoy that more. Maybe that just it's what keeps you. I don't know if you enjoy it. You just is. Now one, for instance, one of the reasons that I can give you for front end the reason I don't like it is if users, like, imagine you're the person at Google in charge of, let's say, now of course Google is very, very sophisticated, but like, I don't know, I'm just, there's, I feel a lot, for me, there's that pressure I feel where, let's go to Google News, for instance, if somehow, God forbid, I mess up, and let's say these tabs right here get messed up somehow, oh my God, and then users all of a sudden are angry. They're submitting like tickets to us or whatever. Pretty sure that Google has like a help something somewhere where you can click help, whatever. Right? Maybe here it is. There you go. Whatever. So, but like, so for me, the point is that like, just that's the first suggestion, and I'm gonna just move on from it because I don't want to dwell on it too long. All right. The second thing is to look up some jobs. Now, this right here is what's called, you can think of this as reverse engineering, okay? Look up some jobs. And I'm going to do that just now, just for you, for instance. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this. So, for instance, the job bank that I use, the tool that I use, there I go, and I'm going to go ahead and close all these other tabs. There's way too much going on here. The tool that I use for to hunt for jobs is LinkedIn. Now go to LinkedIn, okay, and then we're gonna then go, and I'm about to wrap up the video because I know my buddy Kent and like the feedback I've gotten, I've been told not to like make this too long. So when you go to the jobs, for instance, you click here, click on the jobs, and you type in software engineer. There you go, it comes up. And so the different jobs will tell you what they're looking for. Now, this is, folks, you see this? This is what I was telling you. Folks in the United States or even around the world, this is per year. This is what you can make per year, okay? Now, of course, this is like for a leader, but even just for like this is an engineer. Look at this. The salary is 80 grand to 140,000 a year. But so let's look at this one right here. Responsibilities, okay? It's a little bit vague, but let's just delve into it. Requirements management and compliance provides input to other engineering departments. Or for some reason I'm having trouble yet. There we go. I'm clicking it wheel here. So this is more engineering. Let's look for software engineer where the stuff that I was telling you about just now. There you are. This is good. So look at what they have. They have the end user needs. So a few moments ago, I talked about UX UI, right? In terms of, and when I say UX UI, we talk about what we mean by that is how easy is it? Is this page user friendly? Like, do I know intuitively? Do I know where to click for what? Okay, all right. So and then there you go. And so this job right here. You can tell is very. It has heavy elements of UX UI, but it also has look at this database experience. We're just talking about this right here. MySQL is a database tool. All right. CI there you go. We're discussing this just now. Continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. Get tons of so just this helps you not just kind of learn what you want to do, but also helps you what you need to like you know what you need to learn, right? Because what we're looking at, because like this, me telling you about this, right? Yes, you'll learn about, you'll go to a boot camp or something, you'll learn from videos, but this is you really want to try to do this. You want to look at job ads and see what are they looking for. And by the way, this right here, there's an overview at the top that I should have like looked at first. So here it says as a software engineer, as a software developer engineer for next gen, you will be inventing new features and products, adding new features to existing DoD. Now this is sensitive. This is I believe this is Department of Defense, meaning the U.S. military and all that. DoD applications and enhancing products using advanced computer programming languages like Java. So Java is one of the languages we had in our diagram here. Java is right here. It's very powerful. Getting the class of languages, because again I'm having brain freezes, but it's in the same class with Python, where they're high level languages. I believe it might be the term. Anyway, so you have and then C hash, etc., etc. See, there you go, Python. So like this job is very. It sounds like it's very. It has a lot of elements of like DevOps, as we're looking at in backend. But there's also elements of this is like full stack. In fact, the diagram that I'm showing you here is this is a full stack developer. So you can either choose to be one of these, right? To say, all right, for me, I only like the front end, I only like the back end, etc., etc. Or if you're learning everything, then you're what's called a full stack developer. All right. All right. I'm just gonna move on from here, and then this one, let me just rush through this because I'm really a little bit over time. I don't want to make these videos too long. But how to get started? I'm gonna post these slides actually somewhere and give me your feedback. Again, you folks want this? I'm gonna put these probably in my slide on my website. But some suggestions in terms of like actually how to get started learning. CS50 by David Malin on edX is really good. David Malin breaks down the concept so well. He's really a really good teacher. Previous episodes I've also mentioned Free Code Camp and the Odin Project. Those are also good ones. YouTube. Oh my goodness, you are spoiled for choice. As I say there, I'm gonna put it in a different color. You're spoiled for choice. Now, couple of other things to be aware about as you're starting this journey. It's not easy. It's not easy, but neither is it impossible. Right? So just like the sciences, so STEM, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. Those subjects, those domains are not easy, but they're not impossible. You have to stick to it. You have to be consistent. All right? Me, myself, I've gotten better over time. And you will be like working on something. This right here is Flask. That's not a good example. But when I was in my repo just now, you'll work on tutorials where you pull up a tutorial and you're trying to do everything that the person does, step by step, and then you'll get stuck. Somehow you get error messages. All right. I'm trying to. This is a grand overview of all this. I have a bunch of other tips to give you, but like for instance, with error messages, learn to just stay calm, read the error message. The point I'm making here, which is it's conventional wisdom, to be honest with you, I cannot disagree with it because they say not to, tutorial hell. What they mean by that is, where you're building, you're doing like tutorials that teach you how to do clones of X website, X app, right? And what they're telling you to do is to build an actual app. Now, on the one hand, that's true, right? But my thing is, this is the next point I have down here. Do not you use your own pace. Don't feel pressured just because your buddy is already building his own a real app. Okay, it doesn't mean you should be also building your own app now. And first of all, and then also there's also the concept of like the fact that you gotta have a good idea. Now, in my case, I'm lucky rather because this is an ongoing thing. It's a long term. I've been with this for a very long time. I started trying to pull up the actual repo for you. A while back, I started a company where I was helping international students from East Africa coming to the United States higher edX, right? And it lends itself well to, I can design an app for that, right? But don't, like you gotta have an idea that actually makes sense for customers and whatnot, all right? And finally, I've been like showing you a bunch of all these already. In a previous episode, I showed you the terminal. Terminal is what you use to like give commands. Honestly, there's an overview episode I've already gone over. Uh, um, it's longer than I ideal, so I'm not gonna get into all this right now. But this, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Just to go back to the first slide, this is a grand overview, a very high level overview of what coding is about, software engineering. All right, and if you like this, seriously, folks, thanks for watching. First of all, regardless, thank you so much for watching. And if you like these videos, please let me know. All right, because if I don't know that you don't like them, then well, after the challenge, after my self challenge of this September, I won't make more. But if I know that folks want them, like you like my style of teaching and whatnot, well, then guess what? Your wish is my command. You'll have plenty more videos coming your way. One last time, thanks so much for watching, and join me the next episode I'm going to have. I'm going to upload it sometime, probably sometime around the weekend. Just tune in. Well, you can look at previous episodes where I give an overview of what it's going to be about, but I'll see you next time. One last time, thank you so much. Depending on where you were, have a good night, have a good day. Take care.